Please welcome Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter. Please welcome Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter.
Oh my God, it is great to be with you, and I know that you've been waiting a little while, but I promise you it's going to be worth it. I promise you, because I'm excited, and I know you're excited to hear from our Vice President right here in Oakland County. So let me ask you, who's ready to make Kamala Harris the next President of the United States of America? Yes. And make no mistake about it, Kamala Harris is in this race to bring our country together again. To lift up the middle class, to continue to invest in America. The bottom line is, and the reason I'm here, Kamala is fighting for us. And while she's crisscrossing the country and crisscrossing the state of Michigan today, sharing her vision that puts Americans first, and you're going to hear her in a minute, I want to talk just a minute about the other guy. Right? We're not going back. We're not going back. That's right. Yes, yes. And we're not going back because Donald Trump is just looking out for himself. That's what he's about. If you've tuned into any of his rallies, and by the way, I do not recommend it, but if you do, I think you've probably seen what I'm talking about. Every day, he gets more and more unhinged. Seriously. You might hear him ramble about his crowds, or about how much money he has, or about how dictators love and respect him. You know what? You know what you won't hear from Donald Trump? And he's in Michigan today. You know what you're not going to hear? Anything about the problems that we actually face in Michigan. And there's a good reason for that, because in his first term, he left Michigan in the dust. He closed factories when he said he was going to revive them. He sent our jobs overseas. He led a manufacturing recession that, by the way, hit our union friends the worst. Do I got any labor brothers and sisters in here tonight? Hello. Yes. And by the way, let's be really clear, his next term would be much worse. He would double down on the failed tax policies that rigged the economy for billionaires and large corporations, all at the expense of us hardworking families. And by the way, his extreme Project 2025, I know you've heard about this. We're going to talk about You want to talk about an effect on workers? It would slash overtime pay. It would threaten our unions. It would ship more Michigan jobs overseas and drive up the cost of nearly everything with this reckless tariff, this Trump tariff. We're not going back. He doesn't have our back, and we're not going back. We're not going back. I love it. Woo! And you know, one of the things that frightens me the most about this guy is that he has surrounded himself with the most extreme people who would enable his worst dangerous instincts. And look, he's still lying about not losing the 2020 election, and he's setting the stage to do it again. We can't let him do it. We can't let him do it. But look, we have a real alternative. We have hope again in America. And in Oakland County, Michigan, we can put the final nail in the Trump coffin once and for all. We have the chance in the next 18 days to finally turn the page on Donald Trump and his chaos and his cruelty and elect a leader who will move us forward. And by the way, the country, and I would dare say the world, is counting on Michigan to do that. So here's the deal. You might know this, but I want to just give you some details because we got work to do. We got 18 days of a lot of work. Absentee voting is already underway in Michigan, right? How many of you voted absentee? Oh, bless you, bless you, bless you. You know, nearly 700,000 Michiganders have already cast their ballots by absentee. It's a great way to go. And then there's early voting, which tomorrow starts in Detroit, and will easy peasy, man. Just walk up and vote like you would on Election Day. We have early voting thanks to the Democratic legislature in Lansing. So I got to ask a question of you, though. Before you leave here, do you know what your voting plan is? Is it absentee? Is it early voting? Is it Election Day? Do you know what your plan is? All right, all right. I believe you. I believe you. I think I feel that. And here's the second part. When you leave here as fired up as I am right now, I want you to make sure that you ask your friends and your family and your neighbors, what is your plan to vote? How are you going to do this? Because we all have good intentions, but sometimes life happens. What is your plan to vote, okay? Because together, we can do this. Oakland County, Michigan can do this. Yes. So let's come together, work 18 more hard-working days, and let's make Kamala Harris the next President of the United States of America! Yay!
Please welcome
Oakland County,
Man, you all are looking good. And you are showing up like we know how to do. You know, we're in a little place called Waterford, Michigan. From Waterford to the White House, that sounds good to me. It was Waterford that voted for Haley Stevens. It was Waterford that stood up, and it is Waterford today that's saying we are not going back. We're only going forward, my friends. And we've got our friends here in Pontiac here today, and I think Pontiac knows how to get out the vote. We here in Michigan, we've got a nice tradition of voting for strong female leaders. And you better believe our children are watching. Our children are waiting. And my friends, you know, you might be reading the news right now. You know, an article a minute about which way Michigan's going to go, what's going to happen, because so goes Michigan, so goes the union, so goes the presidency. You know, they've had some things to say about Michigan before. They've had some things to say about us when our economy was spiraling out of control and we were almost that nadir of the Great Recession, and Time magazine put on the cover, "Who's turning out the lights in Detroit?" Well, my friends, we turned them back on. Do not underestimate a Michigander when everything is on the line. Because we know what to do, and we know how to stand up, and we know how to deliver. When COVID-19 hit our shores, who were the people who stood up and responded to that industrial call to action, addressing our supply chain insecurities, moving our auto industry forward, rescuing the nation's economy? It was Michigan, my friends. We have a track record this century of how to get it done. And Michigan is going to best every expectation because we are roaring to the polls. Absentee votes are rolling in right now from the place that we call home. And our values are on the line. We can feel it, and we know it. The stakes couldn't be higher. This is an educator's election. This is an auto worker's election. Have you thanked an auto worker today? Because that other guy, he was throwing some punches. And he sure as heck showed us he doesn't know what he is talking about. We need a commander-in-chief, my friends, who is going to be our champion. Who's going to be the champion for the little girls who are daring to dream, for the hard-working families, for the people working day in and day out. So keep showing up, Michigan. Keep showing up, Oakland County, because we are delivering for Kamala Harris. I love you all. Let's go win.
Please welcome United States Senator from Michigan, Senator Debbie Stabenow.
wonderful to be here in Waterford. And wasn't that Donald Trump 40 minutes of swaying one of the most unhinged things you've seen yet? Unbelievable. I had to watch, I couldn't believe, what in the world? We can't let that guy anywhere near the Oval Office. So it is always wonderful to be here. And this is go time, Oakland County. This is go time for all of us. And we know how to win. That's why we're here. We know how to win. Are you ready to send back Haley Stevens to the U.S. House of Representatives? Are you ready to send Alyssa Slotkin to the United States Senate? Are you ready to vote for your great county exec, Dave Coulter? And all of our great candidates up and down the ballot. We know what it means. We know what it means. All of our candidates up and down the ballot. Let me just say, are you ready to elect Kamala Harris the next president of the United States? I am so excited. I know Kamala. We worked together in the Senate and became good friends. And I saw her up close. When she first came to the Senate and we were talking about what priorities should be for the Democratic caucus, every time she would say, I want to focus on the things that keep families up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to focus on those things that relate to costs and putting food on the table and a safe home and neighborhood and a good home and a good job. And that's what she was constantly telling us. And so I know that Kamala Harris is fully prepared to be President of the United States, and she cares, she has courage, and she's tough. Did you see her interview on Fox News? That was great. I was so proud of her. Now, on the other side, in all seriousness, we have a guy that not only sways for 40 minutes on a stage, and I'm not sure he knows where he is, but this is a guy, when he does talk, is now saying the most frightening things imaginable, which is the fact that we should fear the enemy, not Putin's Russia, not China, not North Korea, not Iran, but the enemy from within. And he's made it clear he will activate the National Guard or the U.S. military to go after the people that disagree with him. So what does that mean? You and you and you and you and me, we're here because we don't agree with him. So he's saying, we are the enemy from within. We are the threat. So let's just make it very, very clear. We do not support his extremist agenda laid out in Project 2025. And the only person that is the real enemy from within in our country is Donald Trump. That's right. We're not going back. We're not going back. Absolutely. Now here's the great news, though. We have an opportunity to elect an exciting leader, a true leader. She really is the smartest person in the room and the toughest person, and is prepared, and most importantly, she cares about you, she cares about me, she cares about everyone in the country, frankly, whether you vote for her or not. Now, you can't imagine Donald Trump ever saying that. Donald Trump is for himself. That's all he is. But we are here because we know that Kamala Harris is the right person to be our next President of the United States. Yes. Kamala, Kamala, Kamala. You know, and I kind of like her vice presidential pick too, Tim Walz. You know, I don't have to tell him where the Great Lakes are. You know, this is a guy from the Midwest, and I have to tell you, when I think of the vice presidential race, I think of the varsity coach against the JV. And I want to say one specific thing that just drives me, you know, crazy. The economy was not better in Michigan under Donald Trump. He is actually the only president of the United States that left office with fewer jobs, and that doesn't count COVID. We're not talking about COVID. We're talking about he's the only one who left office having lost jobs, and he stood in Michigan and said we wouldn't lose one factory, and then we lost 6. He will do anything and say anything to get elected, but we just need to understand he only cares about himself. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are going to fight for you, for me, for Michigan every day. I know that. I believe that in my heart. I know that. Let me give you 2 examples as vice president where she stepped in and made a huge difference for us and is going to take it even farther. She's going to move even on farther with this. But she was the deciding vote that gave us Medicare negotiation on prescription drugs that's beginning to bring prices down. Every Republican voted no, every single one in the House and Senate, every single one. And she wants to go farther, to do more as it relates to prescription drugs. Kamala Harris was the deciding vote in the Senate that put us on the road to a future of a clean energy economy, one where we're not losing jobs, but we're gaining jobs. That's a fact. Now, let me just say this. These are some numbers we don't always hear, but the truth is private companies have announced plans for more than 800 new or expanded clean energy factories in this country. 800 so far, 800. And U.S. employers have added more than 400,000 clean energy jobs, and we are the leaders in Michigan. Oakland County is leading the way as we talk about manufacturing. It's happening right here. It's happening right here. We are creating the manufacturing opportunities of the future. We want them in America, not China. That's what we want, and that's what this is about. But why does he attack our economic future? I don't know. Why does he do everything? Why does he, you know, yeah. So, but when it comes to attacking the future of manufacturing and clean energy, there's a real reason that doesn't get talked about enough, I believe. And the real reason is because the oil companies are giving billions of dollars to Donald Trump for his election, and they are panicked that we're going to go out and buy an EV and not have to pay their high prices at the pump anymore. That's what's behind all of this. That truly is what is behind all of this. And we know they control the prices. Government doesn't control the prices. Guess what? Right before Memorial Day, what usually happens? price goes up. July 4th, price goes up, right? Because they are price gouging. They go up and down based on what is good for them. And Donald Trump said, give me $1 billion and I'll do anything you want. And they want to kill our future in Michigan. That's what they want to do. That is the reality. So that's number one. And secondly, when we talk about what is happening here with Donald Trump and why he does what he does, all you got to do is follow the money. All you got to do is follow the money. Blocking a clean energy future. Why? Because the oil companies are giving him money. Repealing efforts to have Medicare negotiate prices and do more to bring down prices. Why? Because the drug companies are giving him money. Blocking gun safety laws to protect our children's lives. Why? Because of the gun lobby money. And don't forget the huge tax cuts for his billionaire buddies at the expense of everybody here. Donald Trump only cares about himself. So let's be clear. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. You know, in Michigan, we understand, because we make cars, we understand that you put the car in D and you go forward. You put it in R, you go backwards. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are going to move us forward. So let's work the next 18 days. Let's work our heart out, because we're not going back.
Please welcome Lisa Joseph.
Wow. Hello, Oakland County. Oh, wow. My name is Lisa Joseph, and I am a field organizer with the One campaign to elect Kamala Harris and Michigan Democrats here in Oakland County. I was born and raised in the suburbs of Chicago by my Indian immigrant parents, who moved to this great nation to live out the American dream, just like Vice President's parents did. But Oakland County was my second home. I have family out here, and we would come and visit them all the time, and I'm so happy to be back. In every election before this one, I have been a basic, informed voter, trusting that no matter what my vote, our country would be fine. But this year, as the election was approaching, I did not feel that same sense of ease. I think you all know what I'm talking about. But when Kamala Harris announced her candidacy for president and chose Tim Walz, a former educator and Midwesterner like myself, as her running mate, a fire lit up in me. And I think the same for all of you. And I had to be a part of this pivotal moment in our nation's history. So I quit my corporate job in San Francisco and moved back here to work for the Michigan Democrats to fight for the democracy that I took for granted. Here in Michigan, you and your neighbors will determine the future of our country. And it is not enough to vote in this election, folks. The way we are going to win this election is by getting every Democrat in Michigan to cast their vote. We need you to knock on doors with us. Canvassing is the most effective way to mobilize voters. We host canvass launches all around Oakland County, and we are counting on you to commit at least 3 hours every weekend until the election. That's only 3 weekends, folks. 3 weekends left. We have folks staff all around this venue to help you sign up, and QR codes posted everywhere so that you can sign up to knock on doors with us today. We need your action now. You are all here because you and I had the same dream to elect Kamala Harris for president in 2024. We don't want to wake up on November 6th knowing there was something more we could have done to realize that dream. We only have 18 days left, y'all. Can we count on you to volunteer? Can we count on you, Oakland County? Take action, sign up to volunteer, and we will win this election together. Thank you so much.
Please welcome Mia Reed.
Hello, Oakland County. Woo! My name is Mia Reed. I am a lifelong Michigander, and I am a Detroit native. I am a mother and an advocate for gun safety. Years ago, my life changed. My life changed forever when my son, my firstborn son, my only son, was taken due to gun violence. There aren't any words that can describe that pain. So when you ask someone and they can't give you a word, it's because it is undescribable. It is not the natural order of life for us parents to be burying our children. For some, for many, it's a battle just to survive, to make it to the next day. It took years for me. I thank God that I have my faith, and I thank God that I had the courage to seek out mental health services. But as I began to heal, I felt called to help others. I felt selfish. I'm in a good space. I need to help others to be in a good space too. But that wasn't enough, because every day in this country, over 120 people die due to gun violence. So I felt called to help address this gun violence epidemic. No one, you hear me? No one, you hear me? No one deserves to be a victim of gun violence. On this journey, I can smile because I found a community, and moms demand action. I am proud to be a part of Moms Demand Action. We are a grassroots movement. We are national. We are in every state, every city, every town. We have a survivors network that is global. We are here for gun safety. That's also why I am supporting our Vice President. As Vice President, Kamala has helped expand violence prevention programs, including the first White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention. She has helped to invest in mental health resources and support local law enforcement. She was instrumental in passing the first major gun safety law in nearly 30 years. Now, Donald Trump is a different story. He says we should get over gun violence. We say enough is enough. He tried to cut funding for local law enforcement, and violent crimes skyrocketed. So a second Trump term would be even more dangerous. His extreme Project 225 agenda would give him nearly unchecked power and control. It even, get this, it even encourages putting guns in our classrooms. No, we have come too far to let anyone drag us backwards because what? We're not going back. 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 If we want to protect our kids and our communities, we must send Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to the White House. So you said it and I said it. Enough is enough. I'm ready for a new way forward. Are you? I can't hear you. Are you ready? If I'm ready and you're ready, it's time. I want you to give a warm welcome to a lifelong advocate for public safety, your Vice President, and the next President of the United States, Kamala
Thank you, and we need to get to work. All right, thank you all. It is so good to be back in Michigan. It is so good to be back. I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of your busy lives to take the time to be here this evening. I thank you all so very much. Can we please hear for Senator Stabenow, who was here earlier? County Executive Dave Coulter. Representative Stevens, who we need to elect to the United States Congress. And let's send Representative Slotkin to the United States Senate. Because we need them in D.C. We need them in D.C. I also want to thank all of the leaders of the Arab American community who are here. As everyone knows, this community has deep and proud roots in the Detroit metro area, and I am proud to have the support of Arab American leaders like Wayne County Deputy. We need a medic. Okay, we need a medic. Let's figure out a way to part a little bit so that we can bring a medic in over here, please. Okay. Okay, it looks like we need a medic over there too. Is that what we're saying? Okay. Okay. We got a lot of folks in here. It's a little warm. Let's just make sure we're looking out for each other, okay? Okay. Are we okay? Okay. All right, it looks like we're good. We're okay? All right. Okay. Thank you. And always to our first responders, thank you for your work. So as I was saying, our Arab American community has deep and proud roots in the Detroit metro area, and I am very proud to have the support of Arab American leaders like Wayne County Deputy Executive Assad Turfi, and listen, I know this year has been very difficult, given the scale of death and destruction in Gaza, and given the civilian casualties and displacement in Lebanon. It is devastating, and now Sinwar's death can and must be a turning point. Everyone must seize this opportunity to finally end the war in Gaza, bring the hostages home, and end the suffering once and for all. And I continue to believe diplomacy is the answer to bringing lasting stability across the Israel-Lebanon border. And as Vice President, and with your help as President, I will do everything in my power to achieve these goals and work toward a future with security and dignity for all people in the region. So thank you all. And Michigan, listen, we got 18 days to get this done. 18 short days. And you all wouldn't be here spending your precious time here with all the other obligations you've got if you did not know this is probably one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime. And it's going to be a tight race until the very end. And we are the underdog and running as the underdog, but make no mistake, we will win. We will win. We will win. Yes, we will. We will win. And we will win because we understand, and we will win because we understand what is at stake. This election is about two very different visions for our nation. One, Donald Trump's that is focused on the past, and the other ours that is focused on the future. We are focused on a future where we bring down the cost of living, invest in small businesses and entrepreneurs, protect reproductive freedom. That is in the future that we are fighting for. But as you all know, that's not what we're hearing from Donald Trump. Instead, it is the same old tired playbook. He has no plan for how he would address the needs of the American people. No plan. Can I hear it again? No plan. And he is only focused on himself. And now, check this out, he is ducking debates and canceling interviews. You saw his own campaign team is saying it's because of exhaustion. All right. Well, here's the thing. If you are exhausted from the campaign trail, it raises real questions about you are fit for the toughest job in the world. And so, folks, for these reasons and more, it is time to turn the page. Let's turn the page. Because America is ready to chart a new way forward, ready for a new and optimistic generation of leadership that is all of you, is all of us, which is why Democrats, Republicans, Independents are supporting our campaign. In fact, you may have seen earlier this week, over 100 Republican leaders from across the country joined me on the campaign trail, including some who served under Donald Trump's administration. Because, you know, they know him best. They understand what's at stake. And I believe Americans want a president and deserve a president who works for all the American people. All the American people. And that has been, as you all know, the story of my entire career. I've only in my career had one client, the people. One client. As a young courtroom prosecutor, I protected women and children. As Attorney General of California, I fought for students and veterans who were being scammed by those for-profit colleges. As Vice President, I have stood up for workers and seniors, and as President, I will fight for all the American people, always. Always. And together, us and you, we will together. Like, I want you to shout your own name for a minute. Let's do that really quickly. Shout your own name for a minute. That's what I'm talking about, because it's about you. It's about your family. It's about you. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Because together, we will build a brighter future for our nation together. Together. A future where we build what I call an opportunity economy, so that every American has an opportunity to own a home, buy a car, build wealth, start a business. Right? Under my plan, we will deal with things like bringing down the cost of housing. We will help entrepreneurs start and grow a small business. Do we have any small business owners here? Yeah. me. My plan will expand Medicare to cover home health care for seniors. And look, as with so many of the issues that are priority issues for me, including small businesses, the issue of home health care, look, I'm going to just go off script for a moment. So when my mother was sick, I took care of her. And for anyone here who has or is taking care of an older relative, you know what it is. It's about trying to cook something that they feel like eating. It's about trying to put some clothes on them that won't irritate their skin, right? It's about, from time to time, trying to figure out what you can say that will bring a smile to their face or make them laugh. It's about dignity. It's about dignity. And here's the deal. When you look at everyone who is doing that, and then you look at what we call the sandwich generation, which are people who are raising your young children and taking care of your parents, it's a lot. And either you have enough money to afford to have somebody come in and help you, which most people don't, or you might have to give up your job, which means you're cutting off a source of income for your household, or you have to spend down your savings to qualify for Medicaid. That's just not right. So my plan is to say that we are going to fix it so that Medicare covers the cost of home health care work for seniors. Because it's about dignity. It's about dignity. So more seniors can live at home with dignity. Our plan will lower costs on everything from health care to groceries. I'm going to take on corporate price gouging like I've done before. I'm going to do it again. My plan will also give middle-class tax cuts to 100 million Americans, including $6,000 during the first year of a child's life, because here is where I'm coming from. The vast majority of our young parents have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources. And so looking at expanding the child tax credit, again, it's about dignity. It's about recognizing that folks just need a little help to buy a car seat or a crib or the essential needs for your child during such a critical stage of their development. And by the way, we all benefit from that. Everybody benefits from that. So these are just some examples of our plan, and all of that to say, look, I will always stand and fight for the middle class and working families of America. I come from the middle class, and I will never forget where I come from. My plan also invests in American manufacturing and innovation. And I will make sure America, not China, wins the competition for the 21st century. Exactly right. Exactly right. And Michigan knows better than most what that means about investing in American industry. Under my plan, we will invest in the industries that built America, like steel, iron, and the great American auto industry. And contrary to what my opponent is suggesting, I will never tell you what kind of car you have to drive. But here's what I will do. I will invest in communities like Oakland County and Detroit. We will retool existing factories and hire locally and work with unions to create good-paying jobs. Including, by the way, jobs that do not require a college degree, because this is how I feel. Look, this is how I feel about that. We all know a college degree is not the only measure of the skills and experience of a qualified worker. So part of my plan is to do an assessment of all the federal jobs, which will be under our jurisdiction, to figure out which of them should be rethought of in terms of whether or not it actually requires a college degree. And the next step on that is going to be to challenge the private sector to do the same. I will also protect the pensions of union members and retirees. Including yesterday when I announced the protection of the full earned pension benefits of more than 22,500 retirees under the Detroit Carpenters Pension Fund. Because back to the point about dignity, I understand the dignity of work, and I understand the importance of having dignity in your retirement. Now, Donald Trump has a different approach. I don't need to tell you, he's full of big promises, but always fails to deliver. Always fails to deliver. So, remember, he said he was the only one, you know how he talks, the only one who could bring back America's manufacturing jobs. Remember when he said that? And then America lost almost 200,000 manufacturing jobs when he was president, including tens of thousands of jobs right here in Michigan. And those losses started before the pandemic, okay? Making Donald Trump one of the biggest losers of manufacturing jobs in American history. And his track record for the auto industry was also a disaster. He promised workers in Warren, you remember, he promised workers in Warren that the auto industry would, and I'm going to quote, not lose one plant during his presidency. Then, American automakers announced the closure of 6 auto plants when he was president, including General Motors in Warren and Stellantis in Detroit. Remember that? Thousands of Michigan auto workers lost their jobs. And Donald Trump's running mate, you know, because the position was vacant and he had to fill it, right? You know, for the young people here, you know when you go for an interview and you sit down at the interview and you ask the person who's interviewing, why is the job vacant? So Donald Trump's current running mate recently suggested that if they win, they would threaten the Grand River Assembly Plant in Lansing. The same plant that our administration protected earlier this year, saving 650 union jobs. And remember, Donald Trump encouraged automakers to move their plants out of Michigan so they could pay their workers less. And when the UAW went on strike, to demand the higher wages that you deserved, Donald Trump went to a non-union shop. Remember? And he attacked the UAW. And he said striking and collective bargaining don't, and I'm going to quote, don't make a damn bit of difference. That's what he said about striking and collective bargaining. Well, Michigan, you know better, we know better. Strong unions mean higher wages, better health care, and greater dignity for union members and everyone else. Because you don't have to be a member of a union to thank unions for your 5-day work week and your vacation time and your sick leave. Thank a union. Which is why, when I am president, with your help, I will sign the PRO Act into law and make it easier for workers to join a union and negotiate for better pay and working conditions. And now, Donald Trump is making the same empty promises to the people of Michigan that he did before, hoping you will forget how he let you down the last time. But we're not falling for the okie doke. No. And we won't be fooled. Just for example, Google Project 2025. Which I still, by the way, find it fascinating to think that they actually put that in writing. I mean, they put it in writing, they published it, they bound it, and gave it out, right? And here's the thing. To read it is to know. It is a detailed and dangerous blueprint for what he will do if he is elected president. Donald Trump will give billionaires and corporations massive tax cuts, cut Social Security and Medicare, get rid of the $35 cap on insulin for seniors that you all helped us get, make it easier, he will, and read it, he will make it easier for companies to deny overtime pay to workers. And he intends to impose what I call a Trump sales tax, which is at least 20%, if not more, of a tax on everyday basic necessities, which economists have estimated will cost the American family an additional $4,000 a year. And if that weren't enough, on top of this and all of this, he plans to end the Affordable Care Act. And he has no plan to replace it. Because he has, quote, concepts of a plan. So you all have heard me say, you know, I think Donald Trump is an unserious man. And the consequences, if he were to ever get back into the White House, are absolutely dangerously serious. Because think about it. He's going to threaten the health insurance coverage of 45... Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about that. The courts are going to take care of that. We're going to take care of November. We're going to take care of November. How about that? Right? We'll take care of November. But again, concepts of a plan. So think about it in terms of the serious nature of this. He's basically threatening the health insurance coverage of 45 million Americans based on a concept and taking us back to when, you remember, insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. You remember what that was? And that's why we are not going back. We are not going back. No, we are not going back. We will move forward. We will move is a fight for the future. Ours is a fight for the future, and it is a fight for freedom. Like the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. And we remember how we got here, right? Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. And now check this out. In America, 1 in 3 women live in a state with a Trump abortion ban. Many with no exception even for rape and incest, which means you're telling someone who is a survivor of a violation to their body that they have no right to make a decision about what happens to their body next? That is immoral. Immoral. And let us agree, one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do with her body. Not the government. Not the government. No. If she chooses, she will talk with her priest, her pastor, her rabbi, her imam, but not the government and some folks up in a state house telling her what's in her own best interest. And so here's my pledge to you. When Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. Proudly sign it into law. And across our nation, listen, I'm traveling the country, and I'll tell you, across our nation, we are witnessing a full-on assault on hard-won freedoms and rights, including the freedom to vote. Let me tell you, in places like Georgia, where I'm spending some time, you know they passed a law that makes it illegal to give people food and water for standing in line to vote? Yeah. I mean, the hypocrisy abounds. What happened to love thy neighbor? Attacks on the freedom to join a union. Attacks on the freedom to be safe from gun violence. Mia talked about that. Attacks on the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. So I say all that to say what you know, which is again why you are spending your precious time here. There is so much on the line in this election. And this is not 2016 or 2020. The stakes are even higher because, remember, a few months ago, the Supreme Court of the United States basically told the former president that he is effectively immune from doing whatever he does in office. And just imagine Donald Trump with no guardrails. Just imagine. He who has vowed, if re-elected, to be a dictator on day one. He who calls Americans who disagree with him the enemy from within. You know where that language comes from? And says that he would use the military, the American military, to go after the American people. He who has called for the, quote, termination of the Constitution of the United States of America. And let us be very clear. Someone who suggests we should terminate the Constitution of the United States of America should never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States of America. Never again. Never again. Never again. And so this is how we're going to make sure we don't go back. Okay, so here, let's get to the business then. So Michigan, it all comes down to this. We are here together because we know what is at stake. We are here together, most importantly, also because we love our country. We love our country. And I do believe it is one of the highest expressions and forms of love of our country and patriotism to then fight for the ideals of our country and to fight to realize the promise of America. So, election day is in 18 days, okay? And here in Michigan, early voting starts on Saturday, October 26th, 1 week from tomorrow. If you live in Wayne County, you can vote in person. Even sooner, early voting in Detroit starts tomorrow. Okay? So now is the time to make your plan to vote. And if you have received your ballot in the mail, please do not wait. Fill it out tonight and return it. Because, folks, the election is here. And we need to, as you know best how to do, we need to energize, we need to organize, we need to mobilize, knowing our vote is our voice, and your voice is your power. So, Michigan, today I ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we God bless you. God bless America.